Welcome everybody to look at another Indicator limited edition release. Much like with Putney Swope, this one is also an older one from 2020 this time. But also like Putney Swope, this was a part of an out of print promotion from Indicator. And it is 1970s Watermelon Man. So this was released back in 2020 via Indicator. And it's directed by Melvin Van Peebles, who I've not seen anything else from before, but I'll definitely try to do so after seeing this. And it is a comedy, clocking in at 100 minutes long. It stars the likes of Godfrey Cambridge, who was also in the likes of Cotton Comes to Harlem and Friday Foster, the first of those being a very early version of a blaxploitation film. Also stars Estelle Parsons, who was in Bonnie and Clyde, as well as I Never Sang for My Father, alongside Gene Hackman. Also stars Howard Kane, who was in Pressure Point, which has some similar themes to this, as well as D'Urville Martin, who was in the likes of Black Caesar, Hell Up in Harlem. He was also in Dolomite, which he also directed, as well as Hammer. So a racist insurance agent lives in a typical suburban neighbourhood, but his bigoted world of taunting and harassing black people on and off the job is turned upside down when his skin inexplicably turns dark overnight. So the studio itself had initially planned to cast a white actor like Alan Arkin or Jack Lemmon to play the lead role, but thankfully the director made the much better choice to have a black actor in the role rather than going for the deeply problematic blackface option, which would have also gone against the anti-racism themes that this has going for it. I also think the fact that Jack Lemmon or Alan Arkin or any white actor, quite frankly, never looks real in blackface at all. Not just is it racist, but it also just looks entirely unrealistic as well. Whereas Godfrey Cambridge is slightly whitened to start off this film for the first 15 or 20 minutes or so, but then obviously when he turns black, he looks like a black person because he is one, and that just works much better as far as looking convincing, but also doesn't go against its anti-racism themes. Cambridge is also great in the lead role as well. Not like Jack Lemmon or Alan Arkin aren't fantastic comedic actors, but again they wouldn't have worked for this anywhere near as well. The supporting cast is also good. Its themes are well realised. The pacing is on point. There are numerous funny scenes. It is well shot. The score is decent, and it is overall generally engaging. A little bit of a shame though that it loses a bit of steam towards the end. It doesn't become quite as funny, and yeah, definitely does end on a somewhat slightly unsatisfying note. But this was an overall effective effort, regardless of that. The first hour and 20 minutes or so of this is yeah, really rather great. So yeah, highly recommend this. Quite frankly, it's a kind of similar effort in terms of some themes again to like Putney Swope, but I think this is done in a slightly more mainstream way. Not that it doesn't have some non-mainstream elements to this at all. Obviously, dealing with racism back in 1970 was still a hot topic subject, and so certainly when it came to civil rights and such, which this also touches on. So yeah, but yeah, I just feel like this does it in a much more mainstream, palatable, but also still very angry, very political, and very worthwhile anti-racism message going on in there as well. So yeah, it gets 4 out of 5. Same as Putney Swope. It's unfortunate because of the ending that this isn't rated slightly higher. If it had been a bit more, if it had kept that steam up that it had going throughout, then yeah, it would have comfortably been a 4.5 at the very least. There's no alternative sleeve artwork for this release. The only difference between the one I've shown you already and the reverse is the fact that the age rating has disappeared, which I always appreciate because the age rating labels never look the greatest. We also have, because it is a limited edition, a booklet from this release as well. So there is Godfrey Cambridge himself. Unfortunately, he only died about 6 years after this, at the age of only 43. So yeah, one of his few last roles. And that's a shot from the film at the back. So inside we have cast and crew. And then we have Watermelon Man, Setting Fire to Normalcy by Sergio Mims, also from 2020, like this release. And yeah, again, got shots from the film throughout as well. So it's can't see because it's in black and white, the pictures, but the film is in colour. But yeah, that's him when he's slightly whitened over how he normally looks. And then we have more shots from the film. That top one is him trying to whiten up back up again because he's being as racist as he is, he's really struggling to deal with the fact that he's now black. Then we also have a write-up called Cutthroat Business, an interview with Melvin Van Peebles by Timeri Murray from 1970. So on a visit to remote Watermelon Man, Melvin Van Peebles spoke to the Guardian's Timeri Murray about his career to date at that time. So there is Cambridge and Peebles on the set. Peebles being in the dark sunglasses. And then we also have Black Directors Are Getting a Chance by Norman Goldstein from 1970. So this Washington Post profile heralded Van Peebles' arrival alongside a new generation of black filmmakers at Hollywood Studios, a movement which would unfortunately be short-lived because, yeah, black directors really wouldn't get the kind of new Hollywood kind of films that so many other white directors would get. You know, you look at the 70s and how that was a decade that really put directors at the forefront rather than studios, and yet black directors really didn't get a look in as much as the white directors did. And then we also have Melvin Van Peebles on filmmaking and Watermelon Man. So in this extract from an interview with Andrew J. Roche, Melvin Van Peebles explained how he went from a photojournalist to a director of feature films. And again, more shots from the film throughout. And at the back, we have a different version of the poster as well. And the presentation itself is Sony's HD remaster was the source of this edition. The film's original mono audio was remastered at the same time. It looks and sounds perfectly fine. Might well could have done with some restoration work, I guess, but it was still overall on point. And on terms of extras on the disc itself, we've got an introduction by Melvin Van Peebles himself from 2004, and that clocks in at 5 minutes long. We've got a Guardian interview with Melvin Van Peebles from 1996. That clocks in at 71 minutes long, so that's an archival audio recording of the filmmaker in conversation with broadcaster Darcus Howe at London's National Film Theatre. And then we have an image gallery and new and improved English subtitles for the deaf or hard of hearing. This was a world premiere on Blu-ray, so that's pretty cool. I'm surprised it hadn't had a release elsewhere, given how clearly important this film is. And limited edition of 3,000 copies, which probably have all gone by this point. So yeah, you'll probably have to look at second-hand markets for a limited edition version of this now. But still, overall, a really, really good effort and one that I enjoyed a lot. And yeah, got plenty of laughs out of, but also the themes really were well realised. And yeah, Cambridge in particular was excellent to watch on screen. So yeah, well worth checking out if you haven't already. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen Watermelon Man before, let's hear your thoughts on it. And I'll see you with the next one. Bye.